So thank you for joining Trent and I this morning for getting started with NotebookLM. Okay, we are very excited to see you guys. Those of you that have your cameras on, great. If you don't have your camera on, that's fine as well, as long as you can hear us. We have a lot of great information that we're going to be going over today. My name is Kathy Angioni. I'm with the Department of Educational Technology, and I have one of my teammates here with me.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Trent Lobsher, also with the Department of Educational Technology. Good to see you guys.
And we have a lot of resources and a lot of information that we are going to be sharing with you today. If you do get lost, I know it's a lot, but our EdTech training site is like the hub for all the information and all the fun stuff that our department does. So please go to the site, bookmark it as one of your favorites. It has our training information as well as video recordings, links to other recordings for other apps, not just this one. But we're so glad that you guys can join us this morning. My contact and Trent's contact information is here on the slide. We will be sharing this slide deck with you at the end of the presentation. So you will have this to go through, as well as the recording. We'll be posting that as well. So thank you so much for joining us this morning. And I'll pass it off to Trent.
All right, so thank you, Kathy. We're going to get started with some housekeeping, just in general best practices. So while we're presenting today, please keep your mics muted. And if you have any questions at any point during the training, please put those questions in the chat. A lot of what's going to be shared today is going to be shared by Kathy, so I'll be here and available to answer any questions you might have as they pop up. So please use the chat feature here inside Meet to ask those questions, and we'll be able to get you some answers. We'll also stay on for a little bit at the end for a brief Q&A if you have any questions for us, and we can try to help. And we do love to see, while we're presenting, we love to see the emojis, we love to see reactions. So if you end up checking something out and you really like it, let us know. It's just the engagement is a fun part of it. We want to try to make this as interactive as possible. And please make sure, if you haven't done so, make sure that you register for the course in e-learning. That's how we're tracking attendance today. So if you want to get credit for being here, that link down there should take you directly into e-learning. If you're not logged in with your district account, it's probably going to be difficult to impossible in order to access that. So please make sure that you are on a device that at least has your district account where you can easily sign into that. Just another curious thing, I know that we got a large group from Roosevelt Middle joining us today, so shout out to the Social Studies Department over there. Are there any other large groups? If so, tell us what school you're at and how many are with you. That's just for our purposes, we like just making sure that we're teaching to the right audience, if you know what I mean. Cool, I think that pretty much does it for housekeeping. So we can go ahead and get started with some of our basics of responsible AI use. Cool, seeing those school names come flooding in. Shout out to Don Estridge and Verdi, Carver. Good to see you guys. So let's get started with the very basics of responsibly using AI, because part of what we're trying to do today is to kind of improve your overall AI experience by introducing a new tool to you, NotebookLM. But just starting with some basics, we want to make sure that we're approaching things in the safest way possible. So we do have some protections here in the school district of Palm Beach County when it comes to the types of AI tools that we have released for students and teachers. And we know that if you guys remember, right after COVID, there were companies coming out left and right, hey, use this product for free, use this product for free. And we're seeing it again with the explosion of AI tools that are available both in the educational and private sectors. So we want to make sure that we're approaching these tools with an informed kind of mindset. When it comes to the tools that are available for our students, you'll see here that we have Conmigo, we have generative AI tools that are available in Adobe and Canva. And these are approved for students because these companies have actually signed data sharing agreements with us. So we know that there are other AI products out there that students can use, but they're not able to use all of these products safely because these companies don't necessarily have the same data protections that we have with some of our AI or approved AI tools here in the district. So when it comes to new tools that we might find or that we might want to use, the go-to here is this link down at the very bottom, the district TCH review history. There is a panel of IT and other departments that determine whether or not products are safe to use. So all of the tools that we'll be discussing today and the stuff that you'll see up on the screen here, it has been approved for use because these companies have signed data sharing agreements that are going to protect the data of our students. And that's really first and foremost for us. So if you ever have a question, well, why can't I use this particular tool? Chances are it's because we don't have a data sharing agreement in place and we really need to protect our students' data. So that being said, we have a number of tools that are available for your use. If you are a district employee and you're using these on your district accounts, you can be rest assured that your data is safe. So Google Gemini, which is very closely tied to NotebookLM, which we'll be talking about today, we have data sharing agreements with them. The stuff that is put into Gemini on your district account is not used to train other models. It's not used for advertising. It's not reviewed by humans. It is yours and yours alone. The same thing goes with NotebookLM. So, you know, while these data protections are in place and while we do have these agreements in place, just as a standard best practice, we want to make sure that the stuff that we're uploading into tools like Google Gemini or NotebookLM, that we maintain student safety as the first and foremost decision maker about what we put into these platforms. So that means that we're not sharing any PII, personal identifiable information about ourselves or about our students. So for example, PII would be medical records, full first and last names, dates of birth, you know, anything that is that could identify a student just based on, you know, their whatever data points we're sharing. So we want to make sure never put in student PII. Whoops. Sorry, getting ahead of myself. Never put in student PII into the tools that that we're going to discuss today. You know, you can say, hey, I've got a struggling fourth grade reader who I need to differentiate a longer text for. That's okay. You're not using that student's name. But if you say little Johnny Smith has an IEP and, you know, already there, we've broken two rules, right? We don't want to put in that information that could identify that student, even though Gemini has built-in data privacy protections that extend to NotebookLM. We want to play it safe. We want to play it responsibly and just make sure that we're protecting the data of ourselves and our students. And with that, I'll throw it back to Kathy.
Thank you, Trent. Very important information there, not just applicable to this app that we're going to be going over, but all of the apps that are used. So when we take a look, like Trent said, this is part of Google. Okay, NotebookLM is a Google product, and this is a free AI-powered tool that you'll be able to interact with and use your own documents. I recognize some of the same names from our Gemini training this morning. So this is kind of taking it in another direction, but still keeping the AI focus. So instead of using the internet and going out there and getting those resources, this is going to be a curated tool that you will be able to use and you will be able to share with other adults. Currently, this is not something that is approved for students to use, but we all know that AI is changing. So today, as of 10:40 on the 11th, not available for students. Let's put it that way. Who knows what's going to happen in the next few weeks, okay? So when we take a look at this tool, I'm going to kind of go through it a little bit, and then we're going to go live into the platform, and you will have an opportunity to look at this information and kind of play around with it on your own. When we open up Notebook, there is a source window here. So these are your curated sources. These are your documents that you've put in there. And I've done this training a couple times, and I always compare it to, and I'm going to age myself here, but this is your digital Trapper Keeper. You know how Trapper Keepers had your section, your folder for this topic. So this is your topic, okay? Whatever you wanted it to be about, this Trapper Keeper topic, okay? The next thing that we will see is this chat window. So like I said, this is an AI tool. So it does an AI summary up here for you of all of your tools, kind of just gives you, or of all of your sources. And we're going to play with all this. Don't worry, I'm just, you know, kind of, what is it, like breadcrumbing, just giving you a little bit of a taste of it before we dive into it. There's your chat window down here where you'll be able to ask questions. So instead of going to like Gemini and typing in information, this is going to pull your answers from your source documents, and we'll take a look at what that looks like. And then one thing that's unique about NotebookLM is that it does have a creation studio, and we'll go through some different things. Teresa, we're going to go through how you can access that, okay? Some different creation tools. And I'm going to show you how you can share this out to members of your team, how you'll be able to download some of these creations, and you can share the output of the studios with students. You just won't be able to share, they can't access the notebook directly. But anything that the notebook outputs for you that it creates, you'll be able to download, and we're going to go over how you can share that out with students. Okay. When we look at notebooks currently, and this is as of 11/11/25, up to 50 sources. So in one notebook, so think, you know, you have your one Trapper Keeper, you can have 50 sources in there. Okay. Whether those sources are documents, PDFs, slides, URLs, YouTube videos, whatever it is. And there's some different ways that you can upload that information. And what I like, because I always lose track of what I'm doing because I get so excited with some of this new technology, it keeps track for me. So I don't have to have a separate sheet and where I'm keeping track of how many things I'm uploading into the notebook itself. So that's a really nice feature. You can also, and remember I did say that this doesn't pull from other sources. It doesn't pull from other sources unless you want it to. So maybe like a little asterisk disclaimer, unless you want it to pull from other sources. So there is a Discover Sources button that you'll be able to push or press, whatever the case may be, whatever that wordage is. And it will search for you, and you can use these selection boxes to choose whether or not you want those to be part of your source all the way over on the left-hand side there. And then you can import those into your curated notebook. Okay, and don't worry, we're going to go over how you can do all this, just kind of breadcrumbing it there for you. So just like another tool, you'll be able to ask direct questions, explain this, tell me more about this, compare and contrast this. Okay, whatever you would normally do as like a thought partner for a topic. And then this is just the closer up image of those studio resources. And this is seriously mind-blowing. Some of the things, even when we started doing notebook training, I think our first one that we did over the summer, it's changed since then and gotten so much better. The audio overviews, if any of you like listening to podcasts, this is going to blow your mind. The video overviews have gotten so much better since the summer. But this is just a kind of a close-up version of what that studio is going to look like when we open Notebook. Okay, so where do you find Notebook? So you would go into your app selector. Some people call it the waffle, Trent. Okay, this is your app selector. Okay, and when you're looking at your app selector, it might look a little bit different. then mine. Let me just see if I can share this tab. So really quickly, if you are on your device and you open up a new window, you would go to your app selector in the upper right-hand corner. Yours might look different. I just learned this maybe a year or two ago that you can click and you can move things around over here in the app selector. So maybe you want to customize what it looks like for you and maybe move your most used apps somewhere at the top. Don't do that now. Just find Notebook in your app selector, and we will go from there. Okay. When you open your notebook might look a little bit different than mine because I already have created some notebooks, but the basic format is going to be the same. You're going to have tabs here at the top left. Okay, you're going to have all. So these would be all of your notebooks. My notebooks are notebooks that you've created. Okay, and then shared with me are going to be any notebooks that have been shared with you by other people. And remember, currently, this is only for adults in Palm Beach County to use, and we are in our district login. So just a really quick kind of navigation up here, however you want. I like to see tiles laid out, but you can obviously adjust your layout up here on the right-hand side. You can have it sorted by title, alphabetized, or most recent ones that you've used. There's the create new. So if you're creating a new notebook, you can create here, or you can just hit the plus sign on the left-hand side. Okay. One thing I always like to do when you do hit this plus sign, okay, once you've added your sources, and I'm going to go through some already created notebooks once I go through this, but one thing, just like any other Google product, so let's pretend we've added some things in. Up here on the left-hand side, don't let your Google Drive get like mine. Okay, and name everything first before you even start. Okay, so you don't have 80,000 untitled things. Okay, so whatever you want to call this, if you want to call it November 11th notebook training, this is your notebook. Okay, but make sure that you title it. Okay, because it does not, unlike some other products, this does not prompt you to name it. Okay, it will just let you remain unnamed, okay? And then you'll end up with a bunch of different untitled notebooks. Okay, we're gonna go live. And now I just wanna show you, oops, I've clicked on some other things. I just wanna show you a notebook that I've created already. Okay, so should we give them a second to navigate there? Maybe 20 seconds to navigate to NotebookLM. Okay, again, it's in that app selector. You're going to find notebooks. Some people call it like the black and white rainbow. Somebody else referred to it as a bunch of eyebrows. So I think it's supposed to be like spiral, maybe like a spiral notebook. Okay, so if you go ahead and navigate to notebook. Okay, this is a notebook that I have already created. So what I did for my division, we're all in that period of open enrollment. So all of my sources are all the wellness flyers that we've received. Okay, and all the benefits information. And if I wanted to add more sources or change sources, I could just uncheck. I can add a source. I can upload it from a file that I have saved on my documents. I can upload a Google Drive. I can go to the website and I can just paste the URL if I wanted to. YouTube, this is super helpful. Okay, I don't know the kind of internet magic that it uses, but I'm just gonna trust it's behind the scenes. And then this is that discover sources. So if I wanted some new sources that weren't my documents, okay, it will pop it up here. This is new, okay, for new sources. So if I wanted to type in something about open enrollment, It can search my drive, maybe if I'm having a problem finding something, or it will search the web for me, and it will add that source here. Okay, like I said, this is the summary. This is AI generated. This is not something that I typed out or anything. This is that AI generated source. If I had questions, I could type them down here. Okay, tell me about dental plans. Okay, and again, this is your curated, so it is only using the information that I've uploaded here to find the answer to my question. Okay, and you can see that there are some pre-populated questions down here if I'm having trouble, if I need to get started. So here it is. It even tells me that's a great question. Thank you. I thought so too. Okay. And it gives me this information based on the documents that I've uploaded. So again, you always want to make sure that you're curating the best information, the accurate information, because it's based on your output is what you put into it. Okay. Bernadette, right now, teachers are the only ones that have access to Notebook. However, based on what you create, and I'll show you some of those things in the studio, you'll be able to download those outputs and you can share those outputs with students. But right now, you cannot share a notebook with a student. Okay. Let me see. I think I have a screenshot of... Yeah, I'll be able to show you some screenshots. So when you share, you'll be able to see what that looks like. So I can keep going. This can be a continuous conversation. These conversations, when you share a notebook, the owner of that notebook is not, like, for example, if I shared this notebook with Trent and Trent is asking it questions, I am not going to see those questions that Trent is typing in. That is just for Trent. But an important caveat is it is my responsibility as the notebook owner to make sure that this information is correct. So if any information changes, then I need to update these forms, okay? Because it will not change as of 11/11/25. It will not change if I just update the document. So if it's a Google Doc and I change a link in a doc, it's not going to update that in the notebook until I resync it. Okay. I hope did I explain that correct, Trent?
Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
And then Jean, yes, you can remove documents. You can remove, you can update, you can add new up to the amount Kathy said 50 sources, I think right now.
Correct.
Yeah.
So over here, so if I wanted to copy the output, this answer that it gave me, I would copy it. I always like to tell the AI if it's doing a good job or a not good job. You know, we all want that feedback, right? So I think this is a good response. So I'm giving it this good response, and you know, kind of leaving it at the chat. Over here on the right-hand side where the studio is, these are your creation tools. These are tools that the output can be shared with students, okay? I'm not gonna click audio overview because I've already done some audios. This takes a few minutes for it to do, as well as the video takes a few minutes for it to do. So I've already created. So audio overview, all I did was click it. You can click edit. So, and this is very cool too, especially if you're at a school and maybe you want it to be in a different language, and think of this as like a podcast, because that's exactly what it sounds like. AI voices have really come a long way. Okay, you can tell it what kind of format. Do you want it to be a deep dive, a brief summary, a critique, a debate? So it'll have numerous voices as well. You can even choose the length. Okay, I'm assuming default is medium because it's between long and short. I've never clicked on anything else. If you wanted it to focus on one thing, maybe if I just wanted, this is my wellness notebook, if I just wanted it to focus on dental or eye care, it will just create that podcast based on that information. Okay. But it does take some playing around with it. So this is one that was already created.
Welcome back to the deep dive. So that big benefits guide, it probably just landed in your inbox.
Yeah, and if you're like most people, it's probably,
So
well, sitting there.
you guys can hear it,
Unopened.
right?
Exactly.
Like,
Waiting
how
for
cool is
November
that?
18th to just,
Okay.
sneak up on you.
Happens every year.
Interactive mode. This
So
is,
today,
I believe this is still
We're
in
going to
beta.
crack open the really essential stuff from the
Oh, I lost my
FY26
mouse.
benefits and wellness updates. Think of it as your health and financial strategy guide for the year ahead.
That's a good.
Okay, I believe interactive is still in beta, but interactive would be if you were to kind of interrupt the host and ask them a question. But interactive mode is not available once you download it. So if you download this, exactly. Oh, Trent just aged himself, like calling in a radio show.
I just pull my notes out of my Trapper Keeper.
Yes, exactly. Gotta be, what is it, like that 10th caller? So once you download this, you will not be able, the person that's looking at the download or listening to the download, you will not be able to interact with it. It's just like a straight up podcast that you would listen to. So you would click on the, snowman, 3 dots, whatever you want to call it, share it out or download this. So this downloads as an MP3. And you can just share it as the sound file into your Google Classroom. No, Megan, when you share it, it's not interactive yet. As of 11/11/25, it's not interactive yet because it is like that, just like a sound file. It's only interactive within the notebook. So if a teacher wanted to showcase this and the teacher was using it on their device, had it up on the panel, and maybe was interacting with it with students, you could do it that way. But currently the student accounts don't have access to this tool. You can create a video overview, and the video overviews are really cool. And I can't believe I just did that instead of hitting edit. Click the edit little pencil there, and you can create videos. So an explainer video or a brief video. And again, this is just using that source materials. Okay, again, you can choose your language, and this is a Google product, so it's using Google Translate. You can have what style you want it to be. Oh, I think this is a new one even from the other day. What style you want your video to be in. Okay, it doesn't mean that it's going to be like rocks or anything. That's just like the artwork. Okay, and then again, if you wanted to focus, so if you were doing a teacher training, if you were doing a certain topic, maybe if you're in your unit, and I'll show you what that would look like if you are teaching something and you uploaded all of your unit information. Okay, so all of these that are over here in the source area, you have the capability to download and share out in a Google Classroom. Okay, or however it is that you share information with students. Okay, over here, analytics, you will get analytics, but it has to be shared and opened. I believe the last time I looked, it was 6 or more people had to access it. Okay, so when you look at your analytics, what does this look like? It will tell you how many users per day looked at it, how many queries per day, but I don't have access to what those queries are, but you can just see the usage of what that notebook is getting. Okay, when you share it, you would share it just like any other Google Doc. Okay, it can notify the people or not notify the people, whatever you want it to do. You can set people as viewers. And what I like is that you can have this welcome note. So what this looks like, okay, when you share the entire notebook with somebody and they have viewer access of the entire notebook, it's going to look pretty similar to what you see, except over here on the left-hand side, they will not be able to add or discover sources. Okay, and this is if you just make them a viewer. Okay, over here on the right-hand side where the studio is, they will not be able to create more resources, but they will be able to see what you've created. If you are using this notebook with a team of teachers, a team of admin, whatever it is the case may be, and you update this notebook, all you would have to do is reshare it with them. Okay, and they would get the updated information if you created more things in your studio. Okay, if you choose, because in that share option in the top right, you can choose to share it. Let me chat only. So when you share chat only, it is going to just look like this. They will not be able to see your sources on the left-hand side. They will not be able to see any of the creations that have been made in the studio. So all they will have is your welcome note that you put up at the top, and then a little chat window that they can type in questions. Okay, so there's a few different ways that you can share. Okay, is this a good part to stop? I'm assuming people are asking questions as they come up. Okay. So when we go back, and this is again just my notebook. So when I was, yes, Trent.
We do have one question in the chat that I don't know the answer to. Is there a limit on how many notebooks you can create?
With this account, we'd have to look it up. I know there's different numbers based on the type of account that you have. Let's see. Up to, that says right now that the standard plan includes up to 100 notebook. So that's what it's telling me now, up to 100 notebooks. So when we look at, when I was in the classroom, one of the books that I did with my students, so this is one way maybe that you could use this, is uploading all that information. Again, it's your curated unit, whatever you want to do. So maybe some of you are in a school, you're teaching, you upload everything from that unit. Okay, whether it's websites, YouTube videos that you would use, any of those documents, quizzes, tests, anything that you would upload into that. Okay, and those are your source materials. So this is a book that I would do with my 9th grade students. And then I've created some sources over here already. You know, again, have the podcast there. I have all of my resources down here. Questions, quick links to a video overview. I'm not going to click it. I'm sure it will make my computer run very slow if I tried to do it. But if I'm looking at making flashcards for it, okay, maybe I wanted them to be pretty easy flashcards, and then it would do this really quickly, and it would create it. The most recent creations are going to be at the top, but there is some scrolling to be done. You can see I've done a lot. Okay, so based on 24, it's using all of my sources to create these. It'll create a quiz for me. Again, you just want to click that little pencil. Okay. Anything that I've created. So this is a mind map that I've already created. So it was down here in that source area. So we have Sharon Draper, and then it created this. So this would be a great tool to use, maybe as a review, maybe before you started reading the book, you want to do a little bit of a biography with them. Okay. Other books, if students, you know, want to read other books by her. So this is all, again, based on materials that I've uploaded into that source. Okay. And just to get out of here, I would just use these little, I don't know what to call these, little triangles. I don't know. Okay. And then it would just bring me back here. And then I could zoom in and out. And then click the triangles again, and it brings me back to the studios. Okay. Chat window, I could ask it to come up with 10 questions for me. Quiz me on chapter 1. Okay. So based on the information that I've uploaded, it can bring me to, that quiz or whatever it is that I wanted it to do. Oops, I was scrolling on the wrong window. I was like, why isn't it moving? So here's some, didn't actually do what I wanted it to do. So I think I'm going to give it a thumbs down. Recording, I don't think this did what I wanted it to do. So thumbs down. Again, always like to give it that feedback. No, this isn't something that you're downloading. Maybe that would be something more, Lauren, that you would want to do with Gemini within Google Classroom. That would probably be a better tool. Yay, Allison, I'm glad to hear. So I do want to give you guys some time to play around and kind of look around and ask questions. What do we want to do? You want to set like a 3-minute timer, Trent?
Yeah, 3 minutes sounds good.
Okay, like a 3-minute timer. Lauren, it won't make a slide presentation, but it will do like that video overview, which looks like a automatic slide presentation. Okay, so think about in your role, do you have like a manual? I'm looking at you, Karen Aubrey. Do you have like directions or a manual or something that you might have to refer to often, or answer questions about? So just, kind of keep that in mind. What are some things maybe that you can automate in your job role? So Trent did set the timer, but we'd love to hear in the chat what you guys are doing, how you might want to use it. Yes, Lauren, you'll be able to download the video or you can play it directly from Notebook. Again, like everything else, you want to check it and make sure that it's correct information. AI still makes mistakes, fewer mistakes, because this is based on your sources and Notebook. But you always want to check everything. Yeah, Amy, right now, notebooks can't talk to each other, like pull information from each other. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Not that I know of, not that I've seen, but again, I just looked at it this morning and yesterday. Who knows what it's going to do tomorrow, right? You can ask it once you can get the video, Jennifer. That's a really good question. You can get the video and actually, this is kind of like level 2 stuff here, and then upload the video into Google Gemini and ask it to create slides for you. You can do the same thing with the audio, with the MP4 of the audio, and upload it and ask it to create 10 questions based on this audio for students to answer. That's advanced. Maybe we can add that to a future training, Trent, like advanced Gemini notebook training.
Really good comment from Pamela about using it to flip a classroom, like basically generating the content and then downloading the video or the audio and then sharing that, before the lesson, or you could even do it after the lesson as just a recap, or having these materials, post them on Classroom for students who weren't able to be in class that day. So a lot of really cool things happen in the comments, Kathy.
Oh, you're welcome, Rebecca. Yeah, Allison, I love that. Didn't create the slideshow, but it gave me an outline of what each slide contains. So now I can go to Canva and use the AI tool there to create it. Yeah, I love how, a lot of these tools work together. But yeah, I agree. Try putting it into Gemini and having it created in there. We want to stay within our Google Workspace ecosystem, right? Yeah, Lauren, you can again, this is like level 2. Upload it into Gemini and ask Gemini to create that video notes for you, but it won't create it in Notebook itself yet. I always have to preface, end it with yet. Can't do it yet, but you never know what's going to happen. We don't have the inside track to all these apps, what they're doing for us. Okay, so like I said with the sharing, this notebook hasn't been shared, so there's no analytics. So it tells you notebooks need to be shared with at least 4 other users and have chat activity within the past 7 days. So even if you have shared it, maybe if this is something that you share in August, if you go back and look at analytics in December, it's not going to be there. Right now, it is not searchable, Erin. It is just something that is kind of housed here.
I have had some luck occasionally. If I know that I have something in a source, but I've got so many documents or they're so long, I will in the chat window, I can ask it, which source would be the best to find such and such. It does a pretty good job of being able to locate the original sources.
Okay, I know this has gone by really, really quickly. We only have about 15 minutes left, and I know we have other information that we want to go over as well. Can it create graphic organizers? Jean, ask the chat. And then looking at, still, you can see the flashcards are still generating, okay, probably because I'm still on the meet, but it will do the quiz if you wanted to do this quiz, and then you could just cut and paste it. It's not like in the Gemini Google Classroom integration where it uploads directly. You can choose Google Docs or Forms to do that. Notebook isn't there yet. So just something to kind of keep in mind. Again, when you share it, if you share it as a viewer, they are not able to create new things, but they will see everything that you created. So if there's something over here that maybe you made a mistake, maybe the AI made a mistake, you can always just delete it as part of your source area over here. And this is brand new because I just saw it just now over here for, what is it? Is it a notes, mind map? What was it? A timeline. So I had it create a timeline for me. And now it's giving me the option where I can make this one of my sources. So that's pretty cool. Where I created the notes, and now it says that I can convert this as one of my sources as well. So I can use these AI generated creations as part of my sources. So that's pretty cool. That's new. That wasn't there the other day. Yes, Allison. We'll get you there, girl. We'll get you there. Okay. Any questions? We will be moving on, but I'm excited to see what you guys create. I'm looking at our implementation right now in ELM. If any of you registered, hopefully you registered, not if any of you registered, But if you registered in ELM and you are interested in doing the implementation, hopefully you are. Okay. So when we were looking at your implementation, I do need to change it for whatever reason. It had the Google Classroom stuff there and not our notebook. So give me like until 5 minutes or so after this presentation and then open up module 2 and it will be updated with the notebook implementation for you guys. So I apologize for that. That's what happens when you get click happy and you're just, so excited to do the presentations. So I do apologize for that. Trent did put the link, the direct link into e-learning. So this is 2 points possible for today's training, which, sometimes it's hard to get those points, guys. And with that being said, are there any other questions? Yeah,
I might have
Lisa.
missed it. Sorry, go ahead, Kathy.
Nope. I think I was looking at anything from your Google Drive you can upload as a source.
Kathy, have you been able to, I think I was answering questions or something, I might have missed it. Did you show the video overview and what that looks like? I know we looked at the audio overview.
Don't remember my flashcard things. I wish I could stop it from thinking right now because I think it's just taking up some time.
Would it let you play one of the existing ones or
yeah, it'll let me.
Some history is so painful, so difficult. How do you even begin to teach it? Today, we're going to look at how one incredible novel, Sharon M. Draper's Copper Sun, isn't just telling a story. It's actually building a bridge of empathy to the past, making that history today. Teach us today.
Kind of skipping ahead.
So that's the big question, isn't it? How do you break through that? You get a powerful educational tool that's disguised as a novel. Copper Sun. This book, the corrupting nature of power, the fight for human dignity, and the deep need we all have for family. Just can't. Well, it all goes back to were people first. People with home shoes, feeling her fear and her pain, and what stories do we need to tell to make sure we're building a better, more empathetic future?
That art style is amazing. Like,
right?
It just generates it on its own. That's fantastic.
Like, did the whole thing all by itself. I prompted it with nothing. So super cool. Love all those hearts. Imagine like doing something like this for like open house, or you're meeting with a group of teachers, or you're mentoring people, teachers. And you have all the resources, maybe you're a mentor teacher, and you have each unit kind of laid out like this with all the sources there. Yes, Nicole. Some of the videos don't let you can see that these are not, it doesn't let me make it a source where it's going to populate over here, but it is going to be a resource. Okay. So if I share this notebook, again, with only staff, they will be able to see these creation tools over here on the right-hand side, but they won't be able to share their own or create their own. Okay. The only thing that it lets me do as a resource, I believe, is like notes. So I had it create some notes for me. So it's giving me that option where I can convert these notes to one of the sources. So if I click that, then it's going to appear over here in that source document. Yes, the videos do take a while, but you can also download them. So if you wanted to download this, and it's downloading, it downloads pretty quickly. And then you can share that out into whatever hub you use for your resources. So reports look like this. If you click report, you can create your own report. I like this. If I was in the classroom, I mean, I would spend hours making study guides. This would be great if you wanted to do a book overview. Any of these, I love how they suggest things. I always like clicking the pencil. You can kind of see if you wanted that report to be in a different language. And again, this is just going back to these advanced Gemini prompting that we talked about earlier. This is using that PARTS acronym that we went over in the Gemini training. You're kind of giving it this persona. You're telling it what the action you want it to do. Following this format, what kind of report do you want it to create? So really whatever you can, and if you don't like any of these suggestions, you can just create your own. So what do you want it to do for you using those sources that you've uploaded? Okay. Teresa, I haven't found a way to edit the video. Sometimes I just go back and I have it make a different video. So I'll go to video and maybe I just need to prompt it more down here. If it doesn't tell me what I want it to focus on and I want to change it, I just have it create a new video for me. And then I delete the old one. So I know, okay, I'm not using that one. I don't want other people to use it, that kind of thing. Okay. So we are going to, I'm going to pass it off to Trent to do the last few slides because I know we want to value your time.
All right, thank you so much, Kathy. And one of the cool things, I love that you use the Copper Sun unit as an example because it's obviously something that you were super familiar with. You felt really strongly about teaching it. You love the unit, but then you put it in NotebookLM, and you have all of these different ways that you can take one of your best lessons and turn it into something even better. So if you're looking for a way to get started, I would say, put in the stuff that is already a hit. The one unit that you look forward to every year. Hopefully you have more than one, but those lessons that you get really excited about, and you can come up with ways to make them even more engaging and create even more materials for them. So it's when you have something tried and true, it can be a really good starting point to making this stuff your own. So as of right now, as Kathy likes to say, as of 11/11/25, students cannot access the actual notebook itself. Now, I do foresee that changing eventually, but for now, it's just a teacher and admin created resources. So, the question is, well, how do we use this with our students? Those of us that are in the classroom, how do we use this with our students? And Kathy's already shown us a number of different ways. By generating those audio and visual overviews, by downloading those and then adding those to Google Classroom, or sharing them directly with students. That's a really great way to be able to synthesize a lot of information and give the students those overviews or those recaps. Talked about creating those flashcards, quizzes, mind maps, and one of the things that you guys have kind of discovered today, and that we've talked about a couple of different times, are sometimes you're going to want to take something out of NotebookLM and then bring it over to Gemini, or bring it over to Canva, or bring it over to Google Classroom. The way that these tools work is they're meant to work together and not necessarily always in isolation. So keep that in mind as something that it can be a part of your workflow. I think that pretty much, hopefully, Kathy, I did you justice in the little recap there of how we can use it with students. And if you're excited about the things that are happening inside NotebookLM, you've already got 1,000 ideas. We want to invite you to present some of those ideas at our technology conference. So we are going to be having our 25th annual, that's 25 years of technology conferences in February at Dr. Garcia High School. If you were there last year, we had I think 600, 700 people there. So, it's a huge event. And if you'd like to present some of the cool stuff that you're doing or you're uncovering, please, we welcome you, and we get super excited about that. Last year, I think we had 70 sessions, more than 70 sessions. So please, we invite you to be one of those sessions. As of course, we want to make sure that we give you all of our fun links. So I'm going to drop in a bunch. The first link is going to be a link to today's presentation, and then a reminder to register in e-learning if you haven't already done so. You've got a link to our mailing list. We promise not to spam you. We only send out emails when we're actually when we have training scheduled. So it's a great way to stay in touch and stay informed. Of course, our website, edtechtraining.palmbeachschools.org, is our hub of all things training. All of our resources get posted there. We'll have recordings of our trainings from today posted up there eventually, hopefully in the next day or two. And then, of course, you can follow us on Twitter, X, whatever they're calling it these days. We still utilize that to share information with you all. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube to get a little notification every time we upload a new video. With